For everybody who was not at the event or maybe was at the event, a reminder of who this lovely lady is on the screen. This is Venetia Johnson Burton. It's Venetia Burton. We just talked about this, but I know you by Venetia Johnson.
Yep.
Venetia is with eXp Realty, and she was on our small teams panel for the event the other day. And what I love the most, it was the first time I met you, but I have been following your journey, which I love. And I'm just in awe about what you've built in such a short amount of time. How long have you been in the business?
2020, so like right at 2 years.
2 years. That's crazy. I love it. And so tell everybody, as a reminder, like, what is your small team? How many people? I know you said you had some part-time people. So tell us kind of your makeup.
So our small team is, so I have 12 people total, and it's literally about half and half. It's about 50% full-time, 50% that are dual career. But they're all hustlers, and that's, I love it. Love it about them.
I love that too. So you've got 12 people, which I am just in awe of that, because it puts you into a whole different realm of just being real estate agent by yourself to now leading and helping and mentoring 12 other people to get into the business. Now, are all of the 12 people, are they brand new into real estate, or are any of them experienced?
So I have a slight mixture. I would put all of them in the category as brand new though. And that's my niche, if you will. I really love helping new agents get it. I'm a teacher at heart. Like, that was my background. So I love light bulb moments. I love these connection points. So all of them are newer. Like one or two have been in for like a year, but but prior to getting with me hadn't produced. So I still categorize them as, they're newer.
Yeah.
So.
Right. So it sounds like you've created a platform kind of like a family.
Yeah, it really is. We have this ongoing joke that when we get together, we're like first cousins. Like, those are the vibes. Like, whatever you do with your first cousin, that's what we do together.
That's how you are.
Yeah.
But that's what people want, is like authentic side by side, shoulder to shoulder family relationship on a team, not top down.
Exactly.
And so it sounds like that's what you've created. So you were a teacher prior to getting into real estate. And I always say that teachers and counselors, and just talking to Alexis Thompson, she was a social worker before, she was, make the best agents, because you understand the education part of it and bringing somebody beside you and really hand holding them. So tell me, in your, you have some dual careers. How does that work for you guys? So are y'all, when you are leading your team and you have, say, someone, because I've tried this concept, and it's difficult to have people that are working full-time careers and try to lead them at the same time when they're tied up. So how do you structure meetings with your team or communication with your team when you have kind of both of full-time and part-time?
So I'm really, and we can be honest, right?
Yes, I want you to be completely honest. If you don't have the answers, you just say, girl, I don't have that figured out.
Right. So it's something we're still figuring out. I will say I try to lead with honesty. So, I do lead with honesty. So I'm very upfront at the beginning. Like, hey, I tell them, coming into this industry, it is not a part-time situation. Like, if you're coming in with a part-time mentality and mindset, those are the results that you're going to get. And so I tell them, even if you're dual career, you have 2 full-time jobs. Like, that's just what it is. And that's how you have to approach it, because however you build it, the tenacity that you go at it, that is going to determine your outcome. And so I'm very upfront with them about that. So to be honest, I try to work with people who have a more flexible schedule. Yeah. So a few of my agents, they work from home. Or a few of my agents, they just have this flexibility in their schedule. But then I have one of my agents, he's like a FedEx manager. What flexibility, you know what I mean? Yeah. So with that, what I do is we have our meetings Tuesdays 10 to 12. And it's so crazy. He works night shift though. So
so you're sorry you're tired.
Sorry you're tired. Are you
But this is what you
tired?
signed up for.
But it's what you signed up for. But one thing I love is that, like I said, I always try to find people who have that grit and that heart, and he has it. I never have to, like, I ask him, like, hey, are you tired? Like, you know what I mean? But he's just like, I'm good. Like, he's always on, he's always ready. And so that's kind of how I try to be very mindful when I bring people on, of like their schedule and their capacity. That's the thing. Like, I
Mhm.
talk to them a lot about their capacity, like, and very, very honest. Like, hey, if this is something that you can't do or that you don't feel like you have the capacity to build right now, that's okay. But I need you to know what you're signing up for. So
Yeah.
I try to be very honest. And honestly, as we move forward, and I think this is one of the later questions that you did ask me or may ask me, moving forward, I'm actually going to try having all full-time people. So
Yeah.
we're getting ready to do a new onboard in February. And so I'm like, hey, number one, this is going to be our first time actually putting it out, like to social media, like opening the doors. Because
Yes.
crazy enough, we've been, like I say, I've been blessed to, like, everybody that I have on my team, I didn't recruit them. Like, they came
Love
to
it.
me, which
That's
is
how I am.
absolutely
I'm the same
crazy.
way.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
naturally attracting people
Hmm.
because you are
Hmm.
you and
Yeah.
authentically you. And
Yeah.
that gets you
Yeah.
a tribe of people that are very much like you, which
Yep.
makes a great team, you
It
know?
does. It does. And I love that model. I love it. But I'm also a little curious about, like, what would happen if I opened the doors, like flip this thing inside out and was like, hey, we have positions for 2 agents, or you know what I mean? And you must be full time, and just putting some criteria around it. So I'm very
Yes.
interested to see what we will get. But I do know for sure next on board is going to be full time only, because
That's
I really want to see
It sounds
what
like you're
that could
getting
be.
clarity on what it is that you need to lead the best, because that's been my
Yes.
experience. Like, you want to be the best leader and you want to be flexible and you want to work with people's, desires and their grit and their honesty and all
Hmm.
the things. But sometimes to be an effective leader, especially for a lot of people, you have to
Hmm.
have people in the same room at the same time. Otherwise, it's hard to like have one off when somebody's not
Yep.
able to be present. And
Yep.
then that can build resentment,
Yep.
and you don't want to
Yep.
breed that, because trust me, I
Yeah.
have been in those shoes before. And when you get clear on what it is that you need as the leader, then you'll start attracting those people too. And it's nothing wrong with the people who can't
It's
sign
nothing.
up for that.
Right. Right.
Um,
And to your point of like resentment and stuff, and I don't want to prolong this, but it's just like, honestly, as a team leader, you spend money, you spend time. And so it's just like, I can't keep putting out money and time if it's not
we're
met
not all
mutually.
in,
You know what
right?
I mean? If you're not all in. So like that's kind of where I am now. And so, like I said, I have half people that it's fine. But then there's another half. I mean, 50% is a lot of money, right? Like
Yes.
that's a lot of effort.
Well, and
And
I
so
appreciate your honesty with that, because
yeah.
when I started a team, I did it very similar. I'm like, if you want to
Mhm.
come join me, like, and we'll go about this together.
Yeah.
As you grow in that, you start to learn, like, okay, I don't want people to be upset with me, but like, this is how
Mhm.
I'm running this thing. And
Mhm.
you just it's beauty, because that when we learn how to build a team, if you read the books and follow the models and all the things, it has like a path, right? And we all
Yeah.
try to just, well, we want to do it this way. And it's
Yeah.
like it works until it doesn't work, and then
Until
you
it doesn't.
from it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but it's not saying it's not working. It's just, what do you need to be the most effective
Just
leader?
fine tuning, and
Exactly.
scaling and growing, and it's part of the process.
Yep. So I know you touched a little bit on this during the panel, but for the audience who did not hear you, where did you find these 12 people? Like, I know you said they naturally attract, are they friends? Did they go to church with you? Did they, you said you didn't put out any ads for it? Or you
Mhm.
just, hey, here I am, I'm in real estate now, and people just inquired, or how has that been?
Yeah, that is, and actually, when I tell the story, it's kind of wild to me. Like I kind of like, what? Like this is, yeah. I don't. I'm like, I really thought there was another like onboard process for this. Like this is crazy, but yeah. So seriously, there were one person, my guy, the only guy on our team. I actually, number one, we went to school together. We went to high school together. And then him and his wife had me sell their house. And in the middle of selling their house, he was like, hey, I'm getting my license. Like, do you mind if I right? And that kind of opened the door to that. And I was like, sure, like I'll help you. And so that was that. And then some others, they just were, nobody was from church, but it was like from word of mouth. It, literally how I get clients. It was word of mouth, like, oh, I know somebody that's getting into the industry. And I think people saw what I was building and just felt like their people would be good assets or could get something from it. And so literally I built it from word of mouth and some looser relationships, like I said, like high school, stuff like that.
Right.
But it literally came from social and me like documenting my story and my journey, and people for whatever reason trusting that I could help them. And so what happened was I literally had 6 people around a 2 to 3 month time span that I was helping like in pockets. And so I just realized that this wasn't efficient, because I was helping them do the same thing, right? Like get their real estate business off the ground. But it was like, oh, I'm at this point, or I'm getting my fingerprint. So I'm trying to figure out a brokerage, right? So I was like, this is a lot. And it became overwhelming. So I said, what if I put my teacher skills to use and I create a curriculum for like, from
Love
the
it.
minute you pass your test, what do I do? What do I need to know? And so on. And so I was like, I can do this. So I put together, it started off like a 6-week on board. And I was like, I'll take somebody through this every week, we'll meet.
Mhm.
And then it continued to grow, that curriculum did. And then I was like, you know what? I think I have confirmation like in my spirit, in my heart to like start a team, which is something that I never wanted to do. Is not what I came in here for. Like I came in to sell houses and go on about my business.
Mhm.
But I feel like there was a check in my spirit to be like, okay, let's do this like in an efficient way. So I reached out to all 6 of them and I was like, hey, I'm starting a team. Don't know if you trust me that much, like to
Right.
take part of your money, right?
Right.
And to trust me in mentoring. Don't know if you even want to do this, but I'm starting a team. And, if you want to come, you can. If you don't, I'm not offended. In my mind, I had the number 3. I was like, God, if I could just get 3 of them, that was my number I prayed around, like 3. If I get 3 of them to convert, right, and like come with me,
Right.
cool. And all 6 of them were
All
like,
six.
yeah.
I
And I
love
was like,
You
what?
just have to put it out there into the world and then it will come. And
Yeah.
that
It
is
will
like
come.
that is such a good story because that is how teams sometimes just evolve. Is like you're like, okay,
Mhm.
I have all these people coming to me asking me how I've done it because you've been willing and vulnerable to put it out there, who you are, what you believe in. And that's honestly, I'm
Mhm.
attracted to you because you are like you have no apologies about who you are, and that is
Yeah.
an attractive thing. I mean, like
Yeah.
people will naturally just come to you. You exude exactly what they want to be. And even though you don't have it all figured out yet,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
trust you because you are an authentic person.
That
And
makes sense. Yep.
I would bet that they would say, like, look, Venetia going to be like, if I don't have it figured out, like we're going to figure it out together, but I'm
Mhm.
beside you in this. And that
Yep. Yep.
mentality in a team is gold. And it is truly like a friendship of like, okay, well, what do we do next? And we'll,
Yes.
fail together.
Yep. Yep.
um, that's awesome. So what do you think what is something unique that you do within your team or with your people or for yourself that you think that other people that you could spread out into the world for people who are thinking about joining or either joining a team or starting a team, that is something that you do that has really worked for you that they could take um, out of what you have to say or what you do in your team?
Um, One thing is that we have really honest conversations. Like have these moments where it's like, okay, it could be once or twice a quarter where we're just like, or when we feel it, right? We're just like, okay, hey, let's have a family talk. Like put it
Family
on the
talk.
table. Whatever it is. Like let's have a
Yes.
lemon squeeze session. Like whatever it is, put it out. It can be disconnected, disjointed, whatever. But what that does for us is, and I welcome that feedback because what it does is it informs me of how to lead them better and give them what they need. I
Yes.
also feel like it fosters a culture of like family, connectivity, authenticity, honesty. Like they know I never wanted to build a team and be like, like I'm getting paid off of them, but they can't touch me. I'm not touchable. they can't talk to me. They can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never wanted to do that. I always wanted, I don't care how big we get, even our language will exude family, because I want that to be like our core. And I
Yes.
want it to be like, in families, you have disagreements and you have moments where you need to walk away, but you also have moments where you win together and you pray
Yes.
together and you get it. You know what I mean? And so you build legacy together. And that's what legacy building is. It's ugly sometimes and it's rough, and sometimes it's good and sweet. And so I just love to create these moments where we can talk through that. Like, what does that mean? And what does it look like for you in this season? And we do that as a group, but also one-on-one. Like,
Mhm.
I'm always welcoming. And that was different for me because I honestly, I would just go past feedback, if I could be honest, just because I'm just like, I'm gonna build it the way I feel like the Lord is telling me to build it. And I know in my heart I mean well, and everything's gonna be fine. Be fine. But
Right.
the reality of it is that's my perception, but people perceive me a certain way, and I need to know what that is so that I could, adjust. And so yeah, we do that as a team, but I also welcome it one-on-one because I want to know what do you need more of? And I ask them flat out like that, like, what do you need more of? Or what am I doing well for you? And I want
Yes.
to know so that I can
I
adjust.
I completely relate to that. There's something that we do in our team meetings called a vulnerable moment. And
Okay.
some people love it. Some people do not like it because they don't
Mhm.
like vulnerability. They don't like to be like, there's just some people don't like to be called out on that. But
Mhm.
part of my culture is to live into the vulnerability, to make it okay
Yeah.
to
Yes.
fail, to not have things right, or to have, whatever it is that they're dealing with. But I have learned that not everybody is on that same page of wanting to
Yes.
share those things. But the
Yep.
beauty of that is that you get to create your culture with those people, and you get to create like what you want in your world. And
Mhm. Yep.
if you do have somebody who's not willing to have those hard conversations or honest conversations, and it will happen, Venetia, like it hasn't already, it will happen. You will
Yeah.
come across people that just don't want that. And that's
Yeah.
okay too. You can still
Yep.
love them where they are, and it
Yep.
just might not be with your team,
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but having them and being willing to have them, hard conversations are hard.
Yes.
And it's a skill that I have
Yes.
had to really embrace because I like to make people happy.
Yes. Yep.
um,
Yep.
so how
I
do
agree.
we'll wrap this up here in a second, but how do you hold them accountable? So do you, with your team, do they set their own goals? Do you have minimum standards for them? And how do you hold that accountable? Or do they just
So
kind of,
we no, so we do have minimum standards, and we try to like negotiate them or look at them again every quarter. So
Mhm.
depending on, and I try to do like this whole life view thing too.
Yes,
I don't want to do like a funnel situation where it's like, nope, you need 2 deals per month, period. Like, it's like, okay, did you just have a baby? Okay, well,
right,
we need to tweak this.
right,
Okay, is this really a busy season at FedEx? Yes, it
right.
is. So we might need to tweak this. So I try to make it just like based off of where they are in life, in hopes that that's creating a culture of like, she sees me. You know what I mean? It's not just like what she wants to produce or the team's numbers, but it's truly what I want to produce. And then I also, to help them stay accountable, I ask them. I don't force my my goals onto them. I ask them like, hey, with your capacity, like, what do you feel like you can produce this quarter? And
Mhm.
so, and whatever goal they give, I always give a stretch goal. So
Good.
if they tell me 3, I always say, all right, well, I see you at 4, like always, because
You're
I
believing
want them to
that.
know, yes, yep. And I want them to know that I'm going to always be there pushing your back to go further. And so whatever, so they know that now. So, I try to, now I got to switch it up a little bit because I feel like they know what I'm going to do. But
Mhm.
that's how I hold them accountable. I have in my mind like what I would like their minimum to be based on their life and capacity, but also I ask them before I voice that, like, hey, what are, where you are, what do you feel like your goals are for this quarter? And we go
Nice.
from there.
That's awesome. So, what are you doing right now For 2023, I heard you talk about you have like a new onboarding. You're going to put yourself out there to the world of like hiring people just not that are naturally attractive, but just like actually putting yourself and saying, hey, we are hiring and you don't have to be in my circle. Like I can accept anyone. So what else are you doing right now to ensure that you're able to sustain your team, your current team, or a growing team for 2023, knowing that it could be a pretty challenging market from what we've experienced 2020, 2021, 2022. Is there anything that you're putting into place that you feel is going to help you sustain?
Yeah, so hiring, which is a blessing for me, but also a mindset shift because it, you know, who am I like to hire? Like that's crazy, right? Like that's really
Same
these
for
are the
me.
questions.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just Jenny.
I'm just niche. Like I'm Neisha.
Right.
Like what are we doing? But yeah, but definitely looking to expand the structure of the team so that that foundation is strong and that we can continue to grow. So I want a client care manager who can really focus on the things that I'm good at people and I'm good at peopling, but like those details, I want a team where no detail is missed in the lives of our clients. Like I want birthdays, I want baby shower, like I want all the things because because I don't purchase leads, that is where I get my business. And so I do a good job of it now, but I want to do a great job at it. Right. So hiring this like client care person to be able to, help with our current clients and then our, past, that's a big one. And then I really want to look into this model of like community engagement, like this a person perhaps for that. And that might not be like a full-time. I know it's not going to be like a full-time situation. Let me correct. But what would it look like to like for our values? What if we had a person for each of those values to really lean into that so that we could, you know what I mean? Like really make it robust. So if community engagement is a thing for us and it's something we want to lean into more, why don't we have somebody that's skilled in that?
That's awesome.
So yeah, just really looking at the structure of our business so that can be strong and we can grow. And it's funny because some of these things don't feel like they're connected to real estate, but they are. And that's something that I, share with our agents too. Like, because the hope is that one day you will leave eventually and your business will thrive. And I always say, I want to leave people and spaces better than they were when I came. So that's my hope, right? Is that like when these people leave my team, they are better and they're bigger and they learn more. And so I want them to know like the intricacies of like, it's not just closing deals, but like, what is the structure of your business look like? And how can you build that well? So
I love that your mind is already there. I will be like, probably speak for some people who have teams, including myself. If your mind is not like in a place of when someone leaves you, that you want to have had an impact on them, then it gets really easy to be offended by them leaving. Yeah. It really affects you as a leader. And people come and go with teams. I mean, I've had it my entire time of having a team. People have come and gone. At the end of the day, I try to tell myself, if I have done everything I can to provide and honestly like give into them, then I can feel okay no matter what, if they've left. And, I now look out into the real estate community and people will, watch this that have been on my team. And I'm like, I still want to be friends with them. I still want to have a relationship with them. And I want to cheer them on no matter what it is that they do. Sometimes it's hard though, because you get so and like close to them and it's like a breakup or a divorce.
It is and one thing I tell myself is like, hey, I remind myself often that like, and kind of like with faith, and I know we have to wrap up, but I tell myself like, hey, these people aren't mine, Neisha. Like they're not yours. These people aren't yours. You're to steward this season of their life well. You're to help them steward it well, and then you're to release them, bless them, and let them go. Like, and that's something that I like try to tell myself off. And I have not had, I had one person leave. We had 13. We had one person leave, but that was strictly personal issues and capacity. But I've not had yet a person say like, I think I'm good. Thank you for what you've given me. Right. Yeah. Thank you. Peace out. Like I have not had that yet. but I feel it coming because they're doing so well. And I think
Which is
it's about perspective. Yeah, like it's good, right? And that they're new and because I always tell them, I want you to go further, faster. And that's what they're doing. And that's
your
my prayer for them. And it's happening. So it's just like,
your view on that is gold. Like that is the
okay,
gold of this interview
okay,
right here, because I'm telling you, people struggle, including myself, with that. And
yeah,
so you having that mindset and that view on when people leave is going to really help you long term.
okay,
And when people do leave, because it will
yes,
happen, and you already know that, and you've called it
yep,
out, and you said, like,
yep,
my role here is to steward them, and that
yes,
is, oh, that's so good. So I'm always learning from you. So,
same.
well, is there anything else that you wanted to add about your team, or anything that we didn't go over, or you didn't get to go over in the panel, that you wanted to just speak out to the world before we end?
I'm excited to be here, honestly. Real estate has like changed my life for real, like from impact, leadership, income, like it has completely changed my world. And I'm honored that these people like are working with me and they're partners with me. It blows my mind and I'm so grateful. And yeah, like I'm excited about continuing to build legacy and to learn and to be able to like, just get dirty with them and just be like side by side learning with them and leading them. It literally messes me up every time. I'm so grateful
I
for
love
it.
it.
So like that's just kind of what I'm leading with right now. Super
Well,
grateful.
I know you've only been in the business for 2 years, but I can tell you, somebody who's been in the business for 16 some years, like, I look up to you because you are a fresh
Wow.
breath in this industry of building a legacy and just being an authentic person. So thank you for being you, because I look up to you and I love what you share online. So if anybody is not following Venetia, it's Venetia Johnson online still,
It
right?
is. It's Venetia Johnson, and on Instagram it's Venetia_Johnson.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Follow her. I'm telling you, what she shares is gold. And I just love you for that. So thank you for being a part of this. And I'm sure we'll
absolutely.
be talking more and sharing more in the future.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
All
for
right.
having me.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.